Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Time Traveler's Handbook. We're talking about the finale of Season 2, Episode 13, which is called Doomsday. It's the second in a two-parter, but we're just going to be talking about the second episode. Spoilers ahead for Doomsday. Doomsday is the finale of Season 2, and it brings a conflict between the believed to be extinct Daleks and the parallel universe Cybermen. We discussed in the last episode that there was a parallel universe where Cybermen were being created that is linked to the Prime universe. This episode combines the parallel universe used in the last episode with the Prime universe, as well as an area called the Void. And in this analysis, we're going to break down what all of those things mean in relation to each other. First, let's start with the relationship between the Prime universe and the alternate universe. As we said before, the two universes are tied together through a rift between them. This rift can be traveled through, but it is believed to be very difficult, as we said before. However, Torchwood has experimented more with the rift, and it became wider and easier to travel through, allowing inhabitants of the alternate universe to come up with devices to get them through the rift into the Prime universe. Of course, every time that they jumped, they contributed to the widening of the rift. This is how the Cybermen were able to come into the Prime universe, as well as Mickey and Rose's father. This is where the Void comes in. The Void is an empty space between universes. It is believed that nothing can exist inside of it, and it's essentially a vacuum and just empty space between universes. As the rift widens, it becomes easier for things to come from the Void into the Prime universe, and the Daleks take advantage of this. They had created a ship that let an elite group of them, called the Cult of Skaro, to exist within the Void. Essentially, it was a ship with zero mass, which registered in the Void as not existing, essentially. As Torchwood continued to expand the rift, the ship was able to get through the rift and come into the Prime universe. The solution to fixing the rift and the connection to the alternate universe is to essentially reverse the polarity. Don't you love it when sci-fi shows say reverse the polarity? Gotta love it. They have to reverse the polarity of the method that Torchwood was using to open the rift and invite the Cybermen into the Prime universe. This would send anything that wasn't of the Prime universe back through the rift and into the Void, sealing both sides and making it impossible to travel back through the rift. Since Rose and the Doctor have been to the other side, as we discussed last time, they would be dragged in as well, and Rose almost falls into the Void before being saved by the alternate version of her father, resulting in her being stranded in the parallel universe with no way for the Doctor to get back to her. As we mentioned before, it takes a lot of energy to get from one universe to the next, and the Doctor didn't want to risk opening up the rift again. But as it was closing, he uses the energy from a dying star to communicate with Rose on the other side for one final time. So it does appear to be possible to send messages between parallel universes, but again, it's very difficult and requires a lot of energy, and that may have been the only chance that the Doctor gets to do that. This is one of the only times that we'll see parallel universes really explicitly explored in Doctor Who. And in the future of Doctor Who, the future episodes that we'll talk about, they're mentioned in passing and they're used implicitly, but we never explore this really fully again. I like to think about the structure of the universes that we're talking about on this podcast, and parallel universes give us kind of another view into how the universe works. And you can see that these parallel universes work side by side with the normal universes and in general don't interact with the normal universe. And if they did, it's catastrophically wrong and that shouldn't be happening. This helps further define what we are seeing in Doctor Who as a really one self-contained universe that knows how to self-correct itself in the past and knows how to keep things consistent. If parallel universes do branch off, then most likely the inhabitants of that universe don't even know what happened. This concludes our talk about Season 2 of Doctor Who. We've got some more episodes to talk about in the next season as we continue on with the stories from the 10th Doctor. As always, thank you for listening.